And starting for Englewood, Katie Kavinsky, Mason Brainerd. Let's see, it's Madison Otrowski and Addison Silfast.
Number 20, senior Ali Schneider.
And number 45, Miranda Holman.
Number 22, sophomore Lauren.
And for Fort Morgan,
number 33, senior Alexis Bill.
the starting lineup is Samantha Pettyjohn, Danielle Gross, Allie Schneider, Celia Smits, and Lauren Staley, I believe is who it was. So the opening tip is brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. With 2 locations in Brush and Fort Morgan, Ingmeyer Phillips can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions or need. So tonight the first league game for both teams. Englewood coming in at 2-5. Fort Morgan coming in at 3-6 overall. So Allie Schneider will be tipping off for Fort Morgan against number 44, Holman. And the tip goes to Fort Morgan. Down the right, into the right corner for Allie Schneider on a 3, and it hits the back of the rim and off. Rebounded to Fort Morgan. Shot up and missed again by Schneider. Rebounded to Englewood with Katie Kavinsky out front with the ball. Now over to number 24, Madison Otrowski. Into the center, now back out, and that pass goes through Mason Brainerd's. Now she has it out high, and that pass is thrown away and taken by Danielle Gross. Now back to Allie Schneider, and she dribbles it down through the lane. Nice pass off underneath, but the shot is missed by Samantha Pettyjohn. And Allie Schneider got the rebound and put it up for 2 points. So that puts Fort Morgan up 2-0. So now Englewood with the ball out at the top of the key. Mason Brainerd with the ball and taken away by Allie Schneider, but they called a jump ball. So that ball will go back to Englewood. So Miranda Holman will take the ball out underneath. Looking to get the ball in. Got it into the corner to Mason Brainerd, and her shot is up and off the back of the rim and no good. Rebounded to Fort Morgan by Samantha Pettyjohn. Pettyjohn takes it down into Alexis Bills, and she puts it up for 2. So that makes it 4-0. Fort Morgan steals the inbounds pass. Now Alexis Bills takes a shot off the rim and bounces down, and that is now taken by Englewood. They're looking to get the ball up court. Team have a foul called on Danielle Gross. That will be her first, also team first for Fort Morgan. Ball out on the far side to Englewood. 4-0 Fort Morgan. 6 minutes to go in the first period. Katie Mason Brainerd out top, and then she throws it over into the corner to Katie Kavinsky. Kavinsky, now it's back out to Brainerd, and her 3 is no good. That is rebounded by Samantha Pettyjohn. She gets it up to Allie Schneider. She loses control of it, but it goes to Danielle Gross. Danielle Gross and gives it 2 off to Samantha Pettyjohn, and they're going to call a foul on Englewood, and it will be on number 1, and that is Mason Brainerd. So that's the first team foul on Englewood and first on Brainerd. Brainerd is their leading scorer, 17 points per game. Fort Morgan swings the ball around the perimeter to Allie Schneider at the 3-point. She drives down by the lane. Shot up and no good. Rebounded by Samantha Pettyjohn. And then her shot is up and no good. And then Lauren Staley puts up a shot, and she is fouled on the shot, so she'll go to the line for 2. For Fort Morgan. And that foul was on Holman, number 44. And right now the clock is running, and it's there. They finally stopped it. I don't know how much time went off the clock, but it was running. So Fort Morgan, she hits her second shot, so that makes it 5-0 for Fort Morgan. Now the ball is tipped away. Englewood has it on the side, out to Brainerd out at the top of the key. Now they're going to call a reach-in foul on number 12 of Fort Morgan, and that is going to be Samantha Pettyjohn. That's going to be her second team foul on Fort Morgan. Ball is inbounded and then knocked away, but it'll be off of Fort Morgan and Englewood's ball in front of the Fort Morgan bench. 4:45 left to go in the first period. 5-0 Fort Morgan. Ball into Kavinsky. Kavinsky underneath to Madison Otrosky, and her shot is up and no good. Mason Brainerd with the ball out front. She's the pretty much the general out there. Now they called an offensive foul. Yes, it's an offensive foul on Englewood, number 44. So that will be Holman's second foul. So there it looks like they're going to bring her out and bring in Cassandra Wallace to take her place. So three. I believe an offensive foul is not a team foul. Ball is down court and into Allie Schneider, and she's put it up 2 shots and could not get it to go. And then she is called for an over-the-back foul, trying to get the rebound. So that'll be Allie's first foul. So we have a timeout taken by Fort Morgan, so we'll take one with them. We'll be back on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School, 5-0 Fort Morgan with 4:15 to go in the first period. Englewood bringing the ball up court with Mason Brainerd taking a shot and no good, and then rebounded and knocked out of bounds by Englewood. Fort Morgan to get the ball in. Ball into Allie Schneider. Allie Schneider down court to Alexis Bills. Alexis Bills on the drive, and her layup is no good, but the shot is up and good by Danielle Gross. That's her first basket of the game. So that makes it 7-0 Fort Morgan. With Mason Brainerd bringing the ball up court. She looks to drive down the court, and they're going to call a foul. They're going to call a foul on number 12, and that would be Samantha Pettyjohn, and that is going to be foul number 2 on her. So that's going to be 4 team fouls on Fort Morgan. So Samantha Pettyjohn is going to come out, and Samantha Scott enters the game for her. Ball's up and no good on a shot by Cassandra Wallace. Rebounded to Fort Morgan. Allie Schneider down court. Now Alexis Bills with it into the lane. Allie Schneider with a 3, and that hits the bottom of the net. So that's a 3-pointer for Allie Schneider. 5 points for her on the night. 10-0 Fort Morgan. Now Mason Brainerd out at the top of the key, keeping the dribble alive. Not much movement for Englewood. Nice defense by Fort Morgan. Kavinsky looking to put the shot up high off the backboard, and that shot is no good. Allie Schneider with the rebound. She brings it down court, gives it off to Alexis Bills, and her shot is up and no good. Rebound underneath, and it goes to Englewood. They do call a foul on Fort Morgan, and they're going to call a foul. I believe they called it on Alexis Bills. So Alexis Bills, that will be foul number 1 for her. 5 for Fort Morgan. So she comes out. And we'll see who came in for her. Lauren Staley came back in. Excuse me, that would be number 32. That would be Celia Smith that came in. So Fort Morgan getting the ball inbounds. Alexis Bills getting the ball across half court. Bounce underneath. Nice pass underneath, but the shot is missed by Lauren Staley. Up and good by Danielle Gross. So that's 4 for Danielle on the night. 12-0 Fort Morgan with 2:25 to go in the first period. Englewood driving the ball down the court. That shot is up and no good. And last touched by Fort Morgan. So that'll give Englewood the ball under their basket. Mason Brainerd set to throw the ball in. And she hasn't got it in yet. They finally get the ball in, but Fort Morgan steals it. Now it's off to Samantha Scott. Samantha Scott to Alexis Bills. And then Lauren Staley up with a shot, misses it. She gets her rebound. Alexis Bills to the corner. Now back out to Danielle Gross. Samantha Scott has it. Then shot up by Lauren Staley is no good. Now it's rebounded by Englewood. So 12-0 Fort Morgan with 1:45 left to go in the first period. Englewood looking for their first basket, first points of the game, and that shot by Englewood is up and no good. I don't believe he even caught any of the rim and just straight off the basket. And now Fort Morgan with a fast break. And Celia Smits puts it up on the shot on a feed from Alexis Bills. So Celia Smits with her first basket of the game. Englewood takes a timeout here, but we'll keep it here. Valley View Villa, look to the team at Valley View for rehab, short-term or long-term care needs. Stop by 815 Fremont or call them today, 867-8261. B&B Appliance at 502 Ensign in Fort Morgan can help you save water, energy, and the environment without sacrificing quality and performance. Change for the better with B&B Appliance. Platte Valley Hearing Center, you don't have to travel out of town to receive the best and most advanced hearing health care. Visit Platte Valley Hearing Center located at 409 East Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan. So Englewood to inbounds the ball. Fort Morgan with a full court pressure. And they get it up court and stolen. Let's see, they give it to Englewood. Last touch by Fort Morgan. So Englewood to inbounds the basketball on the far side of the court. Mason Brainerd looking to get the ball in. Fort Morgan steals it. With Alexis Bills, and she gets it up to Allie Schneider. Allie Schneider drives it down the lane, and that is up for 2 points for Allie Schneider. So that makes it 16-0. Fort Morgan with 1:02 left in the first period. So Allie Schneider with 7 points in the period so far. 5 team fouls on Fort Morgan, 3 on Englewood. Englewood set to bring the ball up. A 3-point shot up for Englewood, and that's off the backboard and no good. Another shot by Englewood. But she is going to be fouled, and that foul is going to go against Danielle Gross. That will be her second. So we've got Kavinsky going to the line for 2. Katie Kavinsky to shoot 2. Her first shot up and off the back of the rim. So it still remains 16-0. Fort Morgan with 49.9 seconds to go in the first period. Kinsey Winsheimer comes in the game for Danielle Gross. So Kinsey will get her first opportunity tonight. And the second free throw is also no good. Allie Schneider with the rebound and ball down court. And then Allie Schneider now has it back in her hands. She drives it down the court. Ball up and good for Allie Schneider. So with 34 seconds to go in the first period, Englewood gets the ball in. Having a tough time trying to handle the ball. Mason Brainerd has it. She's picked her dribble up. They're going to call a 5 second. Yes, they do call 5 seconds on Englewood. So that'll be a turnover for Englewood to Fort Morgan. So with 18.4 seconds to go in the first period, Fort Morgan will probably be looking to take the last shot, up 18-0. Ball into Samantha Scott. Samantha Scott, now Alexis Bills. Alexis Bills up with a 3, and that shot is no good. Rebounded by Kinsey Winsheimer, but her shot is blocked from behind with 2 seconds to go. That shot by Alexis Bills is up and no good. So at the end of the first period, Fort Morgan 18, Englewood nothing. You're listening to Fort Morgan Girls Basketball on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School to start the second period, Fort Morgan 18, Englewood nothing. In that first period, Fort Morgan had no turnovers, which is a great improvement from the past games they've had. Englewood with 5. Fort Morgan out rebounding Englewood 12-6. So now Fort Morgan with the ball in their court. Nice shot up by Alexis Bills, but it rims out with Englewood picking up the rebound. Mason Brainerd bringing the ball down court. She's their biggest scorer, and she hasn't hit yet tonight. She tries to step in for a shot. Ball is up and off the rim and rebounded to Fort Morgan. So Samantha Pettyjohn bringing the ball up court. Now she gets it off to Alexis Bills, and her shot is off the side of the rim and no good. And Fort Morgan, Englewood gets the rebound, but they're going to call a reach-in foul on Lauren Staley. So that will make 7 team fouls for Fort Morgan. So that'll put Englewood to the line to shoot a 1-and-1, and that will be Addison Silfast is going to the line. So we'll see if she can crack the barrier here for the girls on the free throw, and she does get the first free throw, so that makes it 18-1 with 7:18 to go in the second period. Fort Morgan leading. Fort Morgan 7 team fouls. Englewood with just 3. Second shot is off the front of the rim and no good. So Fort Morgan gets the ball down court quickly. The shot is up and no good. Rebounded by Englewood. But Kavinsky loses control of the ball and bounces it on the sideline. So that will be turned over to Fort Morgan. So we're Fort Morgan looking to inbound the ball. Lauren Staley to get it in. Now to Alexis Bills in the corner. Alexis Bills back to Staley. And it was kicked out of bounds by Fort Morgan, so that'll be a turnover to Englewood. Mason Brainerd bringing the ball up, getting past half court, trying to get the offense set up. She seems to be the leader out there for Englewood. She has it back in her hands. Now underneath number 24, and that's Madison Otrowski, and that shot is up and good for 2. So that makes it 18-3, Fort Morgan. Now Morgan up in the front court. Ball underneath to Lauren Staley with a nice layup. Makes it 20-3 for Fort Morgan with 6:15 to go in the second quarter. Now a shot up and good by Mason Brainerd. So that was just a 2-pointer for Brainerd, her first points of the game. Now Fort Morgan with it in their front court, and they throw it away, but it's going to be called a jump ball. So that will be turned over. That'll be I guess they would consider that a turnover to Englewood. So we have some substitutions here. Christina Frick had been in the game. She is now out. Samantha Scott out. Let's see who is in. Allie Schneider is in. Danielle Gross is back in the game. So Brainerd with a 3-pointer, and that shot is no good and off the front of the rim. Rebounded by Englewood. Shot up but was blocked by Allie Schneider. Now another shot by Brainerd, and it is no good. Lauren Staley down the court. Her shot up off the back of the rim. And that rebound, they're going to call a foul on Allie Schneider. That's going to be her second. So Englewood will be going to the line to shoot a 1-and-1. Looks like it's going to be Kavinsky to shoot the free throws. Central Auto Parts, for the best prices and special offers on top quality car parts and accessories. Visit Central Auto Parts at 1001 West Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan. First shot is up and good for Kavinsky. So that makes it 20-6 in favor of the Lady Mustangs. So Kavinsky ready to take shot number 2. That ball is up and off the back of the rim and no good. That ball is rebounded by Lauren Staley. Samantha Pettyjohn bringing it down now to Allie Schneider, and her little turnaround layup is good for Schneider. 22-6, Fort Morgan. Mason Brainerd with the ball, keeping the dribble alive, looking to shoot. Her shot is up and no good, and it draws nothing. It's an air ball. So Lauren Staley taking the ball down court now to Allie Schneider. Her jumper from the right elbow is good for 2. So 24-6, Fort Morgan. Brainerd to bring the ball up court. Brainerd gets a pick from number 25. Brainerd's 3-pointer is good. So she has 5 points on the night, averaging 17 points a game. So Fort Morgan now up in the front court, getting it into Allie Schneider. Her little hook shot is around and good. So Schneider was 6 points in the period, 26-9, with 4 minutes to go in the second period. Kavinsky had her bags packed on that when they call her for traveling, so that will be a turnover to Fort Morgan. So Lauren Staley to bring the ball in. Gets it in court to Samantha Pettyjohn. Samantha gets it over to Allie Schneider. Then Allie Schneider, they lob it over to Samantha Pettyjohn. Now out to Alexis Bills. Her shot is up and no good. And they're going to call it out on Fort Morgan. So that will be that'll go back to Englewood. 26-9 with 3:43 to go in the second period. Brainerd has the ball out at the top of the key over to Kavinsky. Kavinsky drives. Her shot is blocked. And they're calling it out of bounds. I don't think it didn't look like it hit the out of bounds line from where we're sitting, but that's what that's the way the ref saw it, I guess. So Englewood gets the ball in. Shot is up by Wallace, and that shot is no good. Allie Schneider down court, and the shot up and good on her pass to Samantha Pettyjohn. So that's Pettyjohn's first 2 points of the game, 28-9, Fort Morgan. So Englewood having a tough go of it here in the first half of the first league game for them. Brainerd shoots a long three off the side of the backboard, off the front of the backboard, didn't draw any iron. Allie Schneider all the way down, and her pass over to Samantha Pettyjohn, and her layup is good. So that makes 4 points for Samantha Pettyjohn, 30-9. Fort Morgan with 2:47 to go in the second period. Englewood has called a 30-second timeout. So we'll give you some more sponsors that make this broadcast possible. T.O. Charlie's, located at 700 West Platte Avenue in Fort Morgan, will not be beat by anyone when it comes to price. They'll help you find a car that fits your needs and budget. If you don't see what you want, T.O. Charlie's will find it for you. Log on to tocharliesftm.com to view inventory, current specials, and apply for a loan online. Drive away with confidence at T.O. Charlie's. Englewood set to bring the ball in. Mason Brainerd bringing it up past half court. And she is screened off, set screen by Addison Silfast. And then Fort Morgan knocks the ball out of bounds, so it'll be Englewood's ball. Kavinsky at about 25 feet from the basket, and she picks up her dribble, gives it to Brainerd. Her three is up and in and out. Rebound to Fort Morgan. Allie Schneider with the ball, bringing it down court, looking to take it in behind the back dribble. Shot off to Alexis Bills. And that shot is no good, and they're calling a foul on Fort Morgan on the rebound. And that foul is going to go against Lauren Staley. So that is Staley's second. So Staley comes out. Celia Smith's into the game. So 9 team fouls for Fort Morgan. Still only 3 for Englewood. 30-9 with 2:18 to go. So Brainerd banks in the first shot. So that makes it 30-10. 20-point lead for the Fort Morgan girls. That was a bank shot on the free throw. The second free throw is up and good. No backboard on that one. So Samantha Pettyjohn with the ball, bringing it up court, looking to dish off to Allie Schneider. Schneider looks, gets it to Smiths. Smith's shot is up and no good. Rebound to Kavinsky, and she's bringing it down court with Samantha Pettyjohn. She cuts her off, and now a two-point shot by Brainerd is good from the corner. So that's 30-13 with 1:45 to go in the second period. Allie Schneider, before the shot, was called for a travel. So that'll be a turnover for Fort Morgan. So Danielle Gross back into the game for Samantha Pettyjohn. Samantha Pettyjohn with 2 fouls and 4 points on the night. So Englewood with 1:35 to go in the first half. Shot from the corner by Cassandra Wallace, and that is a 3 for her. So that makes it 30-16 for Fort Morgan. Fort Morgan with the ball in their front court. Celia Smith's in the corner. Now under 2. Number 33, Alexis Bills. Alexis Bills, her shot is up and no good. And then the rebound is off of Fort Morgan to Englewood with 1 minute to go in the first half. 30-16 Englewood. So Brainerd with the ball out front. Now to Kavinsky. Kavinsky to drive. Her shot is up and no good. Rebound to Alexis Bills. Alexis Bills down court. She takes it to the free throw line. Her shot is up and good for Alexis Bills. That's 4 points on the night for her. So 33 seconds to go. 32-16 Fort Morgan. Mason Brainerd with the ball out at the three-point line. Her shot is up and no good and rebounded by Fort Morgan. Allie Schneider with 20 seconds brings the ball up court, and she passes it off to Alexis Bills. Her shot is no good. Rebound to Englewood. Now Englewood with 7 seconds. Brainerd with the ball out at the top of the key, and with 2.1 seconds, she is called for a carry. So that'll be a turnover to Fort Morgan. So with 2.1 seconds to go in the first half, 32-16 Fort Morgan. So Allie Schneider set to bring the ball in. She lets the ball roll in, and now they give it back to Allie Schneider. Her shot is up, and it is good from about 27 feet out. She puts up a three-pointer, and it is good for Allie Schneider. So at the half, it's 35-16 Fort Morgan. You're listening to Fort Morgan Girls Basketball on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School at halftime, Fort Morgan Lady Mustangs 35, the Englewood Lady Pirates 16. All 16 of their points came in the second period as they were held scoreless by the Mustang defense. Fort Morgan put up 18 in the first period, 17 in the second period, so that makes it 35-16. The leading scorer for Englewood is Brainerd with 9, and then Cassandra Wallace is next with 3. Atrosky, number 24, Madison Atrosky has 2, and Addison Silfast has 1, leading up to their 16 points. Holman for Englewood, Miranda Holman has 2 fouls. Mason Brainerd has 1 for Englewood. For the Mustangs, the leading scorer is Allie Schneider. She has 18 points in the game so far. Next is Danielle Gross with 4, Samantha Pettyjohn with 4, Alexis Bills with 4, Lauren Staley with 3, and Celia Smith has 2. Danielle Gross, Samantha Pettyjohn, Allie Schneider, and Lauren Staley each have 2 fouls, and Alexis Bills has 1. So not too bad a shape here for Fort Morgan on the foul situation. As far as turnovers and rebounds, Fort Morgan had no turnovers in the first period. Englewood had 5. Second period, they each had 3. So with turnovers, Fort Morgan has 3 at halftime. Englewood has 8. Rebounds, Fort Morgan is out rebounding Englewood 23-11. It's pretty much a dominating game by Fort Morgan. About the only person that scores for Englewood is Brainerd. As I said before, she's averaging 17.3 points a game, and so she's on line for her average. She's got 9 right now, so that put her at 18 for the game if she continues. For Fort Morgan, their leading scorer for the season or the average is Allie Schneider. She averages 12.4 points per game, so she's well over her average as far as points go. So Fort Morgan looking good in this the first half of this league game for them with only 3 turnovers. That's a great improvement for the last time we broadcast their game. I think they had 31 for the game, so they're in good standing right now for as far as turnovers, which when you don't have the turnovers, that leads to more points, at least the possibility for more points, and they've had a lot of fast break points tonight. So we'll step aside for about a 3-minute break, and then we'll be back with the start of the second half. 35-16, Fort Morgan on B106 and B106.com. Okay, back at Fort Morgan High School, getting ready to start the second half. We have about a minute left to go in the halftime festivities here. Fort Morgan leading Englewood 35-16. I'll just give you a little information on our next broadcast. Our next broadcast will be Friday night at Weld Central with the boys and girls both. With the boys at 5:30, the girls at 7. So we have a update on the boys over at Englewood. And it was Fort Morgan 36, Englewood 16 at halftime. So it's almost the identical score. We're 35-16 here. The boys are 36-16 at Englewood. But as I was saying, we'll be at Weld Central for the second league game on Friday night, 5:30 for the boys, 7 o'clock for the girls. And we're set to go with Fort Morgan inbounds the ball. With Samantha Pettyjohn over to Danielle Gross. Gross over to Alexis Bills. Back over to Samantha Pettyjohn into Staley, and she loses the ball temporarily. And Allie Schneider up and hard with the 2-point basket from underneath. So Schneider with the first points in the second half. 37-16 Fort Morgan. Mason Brainerd now back over to Kabinski. Kabinski keeping the ball alive on the right. Now Englewood tries to drive into the center, but that ball is taken away, and Alexis Bills has the ball coming down the court. Now off to Samantha Pettyjohn, and her shot is up and no good, and the rebound is off of Lauren Staley's leg and out of bounds. So that ball will be turned over to Englewood. Now full court pressure by Fort Morgan. Kaminsky to get the ball up court. Kaminsky to the free throw line. Her shot is off the front of the rim and no good. Allie Schneider with a layup here. We'll see if she's fouled on the layup. She is fouled on the layup, and she will go to the line for 2. And that foul is on number 1, and that would be Mason Brainerd. So that is her second foul of the game. So Allie Schneider to the line for 2, 37-16 Fort Morgan. So her first shot is up and good. For Allie. Second shot to come. One team foul on Englewood, none on Fort Morgan. And that second shot is up and no good, but the rebound to Fort Morgan. Schneider with it out down the lane, up and off the backboard, and that is good for Allie. So she's lighting up the scoreboard tonight for the Mustangs. Now Mason Brainerd with it out front. She picks up her dribble. Now off to Miranda Holman. And they have a jump ball, and that jump ball will continue to be in the hands of the Englewood Pirates. So the ball into Mason Brainerd. She's guarded by Samantha Pettyjohn. Now over to Kavinsky, back to Brainerd. Englewood looking to get the ball inside. They're going to call a foul on Alexis Bills on a grab. So that's going to be her second foul, first team foul on Fort Morgan. So Englewood set to bring the ball into the corner for Brainerd. Her shot is off the back of the rim and no good. And then the rebound is off of Englewood. So Fort Morgan takes over control of the ball. Allie Schneider set to bring the ball in. Samantha Pettyjohn now bringing the ball up court, now past half court. Now they finally bring somebody out for Englewood to guard her. Now it's off to Danielle Gross. And then to Samantha Pettyjohn. Then her cross-court pass is over the head of Danielle Gross, and that'll be a turnover for Fort Morgan. So Englewood to bring the ball in. 40-16 with 5:55 to go in the third period. So Brainerd, before the shot, has called for a travel. So that'll be another turnover for Englewood. So Fort Morgan up 40-16. Equitable Savings and Loan, Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan in Fort Morgan and Brush. So Samantha Pettyjohn dribbling out front. Now over to Danielle Gross, over to Lauren Staley in the corner. Her shot is up and off the rim and no good. Rebounded by Englewood. Up court now for Brainerd. Brainerd now over to Kavinsky. And Kavinsky's pass inside is stolen and taken by Fort Morgan. And now Lauren Staley to bring it down court, and she drives it all the way down. And then she hands it off to Samantha Pettyjohn, who puts up the little banker for a two-point shot. So that's Pettyjohn's first 2 points of the second half. Englewood with the ball out top, and a three-point try by Brainerd. Nits off the front of the rim, and to Fort Morgan. Allie Schneider with the ball and down court now to Danielle Gross. Her layup is up and good by Gross. So that makes it 44-16, Fort Morgan. So Englewood not having a lot of productivity here in the second half yet. Kavinsky with the ball out at the top of the key. And now that ball is stolen by Allie Schneider, and she's bringing it down court. And then her behind the back pass to Lauren Staley. And Staley's layup is up and good. So that's Staley's first basket of the game. That's 5 points on the game for her. And now Fort Morgan with the steal. And a foul on Englewood. And I believe it's going to be on Kavinsky. So that'll be her first. So with 4:19 to go, we have some changes here for Fort Morgan. Christina Frick is in, and Celia Smith, is in, along with Samantha Scott. She is also in the game. So now over to Scott. Scott down to Smiths on the left corner. Now back out to Samantha Scott. Underneath this Smiths, and that little banker is up and good for Smiths. That's 4 points for her on the game. 48-16. Fort Morgan with 3:53 to go in the third period. So Brainerd with the ball out front, she takes it down the right side. Her three is up and good for Brainerd. So that's the first points for Englewood in the second half. So that makes it 48-19. Now Fort Morgan with the ball in the front court. Smith's with it in the free throw lane. Back out to Scott. Scott down to Lauren Staley, and they're going to call her for a travel. So that'll be another turnover for Fort Morgan. Englewood has a substitution. Cassandra Wallace comes in for Miranda Holman. So now Brainerd with the ball. She gets it off to Kavinsky. Kavinsky double team, now back to Brainerd. Now over to Cassandra Wallace. Her shot is up off the rim and no good. Kavinsky with the rebound. She's guarded and her shot is no good. And then Madison Ostrowski takes a shot. Her shot is up and no good. And then Fort Morgan gets the rebound. Lauren Staley brings it coast to coast, and she is fouled on the layup. And they called that on Kavinsky. That will be her second. So Lauren Staley to the line to shoot two. Her first shot is up and off the front of the rim and no good. 48-19 Fort Morgan. With 2:53 to go in the third period. Second shot up and good for Staley. So that gives her 6 points on the night. Now Brainerd up court. Takes a shot from the free throw line off the side of the rim and no good. And then that was rebounded by Miranda Holman. Then her shot was up and no good, but she was fouled. She was fouled by Christina Frick. So that is her first shot. So Holman will go to the line to shoot 2. And her first one is up and no good. So Fort Morgan with 2 team fouls, Englewood with 3. So Holman with shot number 2 to go up here. And that one is short. It doesn't even hit the rim. I'm not sure the first one did either. I think they were both air balls. So no points on that foul for Englewood. 49-19. Englewood has scored 3 points so far in the second half. So Danielle Gross into Christina Frick, and then they have a tie-up ball back to Fort Morgan. So Danielle Gross getting set to bring the ball in. Addison Silfast in for Miranda Holman for Englewood. 49-19. Fort Morgan with 2:30 to go in the third period. Ball into Lauren Staley out on the left wing, out on the right wing. Shot by Christina Frick from the free throw line is no good. Rebounded to Englewood. And now Mason Brainerd has it out top. She gets it over to Kavinsky, and her shot is off the side of the rim and no good. With a rebound by Samantha Scott. Samantha Scott brings it down, drives all the way to the free throw line. And then she has it stolen by Brainerd, and now they're going to call a foul. Called a foul on Lauren Staley on a hold. So that's going to be Staley's third foul. So Allie Schneider back into the game along with Samantha Pettyjohn, Samantha Scott and Lauren Staley, or excuse me, Danielle Gross and Lauren Staley out of the game with 2 minutes to go in the third period. Kavinsky over to Brainerd. Brainerd back to Kavinsky. Ball underneath. Now back out to Brainerd. She runs it down at the half-court line. She's being guarded by Samantha Scott. And before the shot, they're going to call traveling on Englewood. So the minute 43 to go in the third period, 49-19. Fort Morgan. So BGT Quest, letter jackets, t-shirts, and more. Stop by 302 Main Street in Fort Morgan for all your sports apparel. Fort Morgan with the ball in the front court. Samantha Pettyjohn. Now over to Christina Frick. Pass underneath. Now shot up and good by Celia Smiths. So that's Celia's second basket of the half. So she has 6 points in the game right now. A three-pointer by Brainerd is off the rim and no good. And then tapped out of bounds on the rebound by Fort Morgan. So that'll leave the ball in Englewood's hands. So Miranda Holman set to get the ball in. She gets it into Brainerd in the corner. And her shot is up and good for a two-pointer. So that's 5 points in the half so far for Englewood and also for Brainerd. She's the only one that has scored so far. We have 50 seconds to go in the third period. Allie Schneider with a jumper from the side. That's over the rim and no good. And then rebounded by Christina Frick, and her shot is off the back of the rim and no good. And now Englewood with the ball with 40 seconds to go, down 30 points, 51-21. Brainerd with a shot from the free throw line up and no good. And tapped back out to her. Brainerd now off the side of the rim. And she gets her own rebound. Her shot is up and no good on the rebound. Kavinsky's shot is up and no good. 20 seconds to go in the half, or in the third period, excuse me. Now Kavinsky on the right side. Brainerd with a three from the right side out there. So she's the only one that has scored so far for Englewood. We have 5 seconds to go in the third period. Down to two. Allie Schneider with a running layup, and that shot is up and no good. So at the end of the third period, 51-24, Fort Morgan. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustangs girls basketball on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School with statistician Eric Nickel, I'm Brian Nickel, bringing you the play-by-play tonight of first league game of the season for Fort Morgan and Englewood. Fort Morgan up 51-24. In the third period, Fort Morgan had 5 turnovers, so that brings them up to 8 for the game. and Englewood had 6. That brings them up to 14 for the game so far. First shot by Englewood is up and no good. Rebounded to Fort Morgan. Alexis Bills stops her dribble out at the side of the key. Now shot up and no good by Samantha Pettyjohn. Rebounded to Miranda Holman for Englewood. Now to Brainerd. Brainerd loses the ball to Holman. Now Holman gives it back to Brainerd out at the top of the three-point circle. Kavinsky to Brainerd out at the three-point line. Now back to Cassandra Wallace. Back to Kavinsky. Kavinsky underneath to Holman. And then a shot blocked by Allie Schneider. Now they're going to call a jump ball. And that will be in favor of the Mustangs. So 51-24 with 7 minutes to go in the fourth period. Samantha Pettyjohn into Christina Frick. Now Allie Schneider out on the left wing, and her shot is off the side of the rim and no good. Kavinsky has a rebound for Englewood, and she's taking the ball up court. Now she's going to be fouled by Danielle Gross with a little shove. So that'll be Gross's third team foul for Fort Morgan in the fourth, 3 on Englewood. So Fort Morgan playing defense here. Cassandra Wallace with a wild shot towards the top of the backboard. Now Allie Schneider with a pass underneath. Nice pass underneath to Alexis Bills. And Bills puts it in for the 2-point basket. 53-24. Fort Morgan with 6:25 to go in the fourth period. Now a steal by Fort Morgan. Alexis Bills knocks the ball away. Samantha Pettyjohn to Allie Schneider, and then she gives it off to Christina Frick. So that's Frick's first basket of the game. 2 points for her. 55-24 for Fort Morgan with 6 minutes to go in the game. Brainerd with a three-pointer, and she drops another one. So that's Englewood's first points of the fourth period. 55-27. So Fort Morgan with the ball. Shot up and no good by Pettyjohn. Now Fort Morgan with a steal in the back court. Shot up and good on the layup by Pettyjohn. And she is also fouled, and that foul is on number 44, Holman. So Pettyjohn to the line to shoot one free throw. So her shot is up and good for Pettyjohn. So we have 58-27 Fort Morgan. 5:30 to go in the game. Kavinsky with the ball. And Kavinsky is called for a travel. She pinned it on her hip and then went ahead and dribbled it again. So that'll be a turnover to Fort Morgan. So Pettyjohn with the ball. Out at the three-point line. Nice screen by Allie Schneider. Pettyjohn's shot is up and off the side of the rim. So now Brainerd with the ball. She's being guarded closely by Pettyjohn. And now Alexis Bills. She's trapped in the corner. Out to Kavinsky at the top of the key. Kavinsky with a shot off the right side. That ball is off the left side of the rim. So Danielle Gross with the ball. And she gives it back to Allie Schneider. Schneider tries to get a pass underneath, but it's knocked down by Addison Silfast. So Englewood with a couple of shots here, and both of them have missed. And now Fort Morgan with the ball. Lauren Staley with a drive down the lane and up, and no good. In fact, she was bumped on the shot, but no foul was called. So Brainerd now with another three off the side of the rim. Nice rebound by Alexis Bills. Alexis Bills now to Lauren Staley. Staley dribbling the ball up court, three-point line down to the free throw line. Now she gives it to Allie Schneider for a 3 on the side, and that is good for Allie Schneider. Her first points of the fourth period. So that makes it 61-27 with 4 minutes to go in the game. Fort Morgan with a huge advantage. Brainerd now with the ball, and her pass is tipped out of bounds by Pettyjohn. So Celia Smiths is into the game now for Allie Schneider. Allie Schneider is going to come out of the game. So they're trying to get paired up here who they're going to be guarding. So the ball into Brainerd. Brainerd underneath to Madison Ostrowski, and then she is fouled on the shot attempt underneath. And that foul is going to go against Alexis Bills. That will be 3 on Bills. Be a 2-shot foul. Early Toyota East, whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle. Early Toyota East at 1209 Main Street in Fort Morgan will professionally fit you into your car or truck of your choice. Serving all of Northeast Colorado, Early Toyota East. First shot is up and no good. Second shot also no good. Rebound to Englewood. Kavitsky out at the top with a 3-point shot, and she is fouled on the shot, so she'll go to the line for 3. And that was on Danielle Gross. That will be 4 on Gross. So Kavitsky to the line to shoot 3. Her first shot is up and good. Morgan Federal Bank, keeping community banking simple and committed to their community. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Second free throw is up and also good. 61-29 with 3:39 to go in the game. Have another substitution. Danielle Gross is out. Samantha Scott, into the game. Kavitsky with 3. Number 3 was also good. 61-30. Fort Morgan with 3:34 to go in the game. So Samantha Scott with the ball. Now over to Pettyjohn. Pettyjohn's pass is intercepted by Miranda Holman. Holman all the way to the rim, and they're going to call a block on Fort Morgan. And that's going to go against Pettyjohn. That'll be her third foul of the game. So that's 7 team fouls on Fort Morgan, 4 on Englewood. This will be a 2-shot foul for Holman. And her first shot is up and no good. Stubbs Gas and Oil. Stubbs Gas and Oil is located at I-76 and Highway 39 in Wiggins. Don't delay and get there today to see why convenience is Stubbs' middle name. Second shot is up and good for Holman. So that gives her 1 point on the night. So now Fort Morgan with the ball up court. Samantha Scott fighting with Brainerd trying to get the ball, and they're going to call a jump ball. The ball is going to go to Englewood. So 61-39 with 3:04 to go in the game. Englewood ball. Have a screen out front. Kavitsky now with the ball. Not to Holman. And they call Holman for the travel. So that'll be a turnover to Fort Morgan. So with 2:52 to go in the game, 61-31, Fort Morgan. Pettyjohn to Staley, and then back to Pettyjohn. Pettyjohn dribbling around the right side, and that ball is stolen by Brainerd. And now they're going to call a foul. Let's see what they're going to call. It looked like a jump ball is what it was going to be. I guess they called a foul on Samantha Pettyjohn. So that will be 4 on her. So that'll send Brainerd to the line for a 1-1. With 2:37 to go in the game. 61-31, Fort Morgan. Premier Farm Credit, committed to serving those in production ag. Premier Farm Credit, the gold standard in ag lending. Her first shot is up and no good. And now a rebound on the floor. Controlled by Fort Morgan, Lauren Staley. Trying to get the ball up court. There she gets it back half court, and then she loses it, and Brainerd takes it. She's on a breakaway layup on the left side. Her shot is up and good for Brainerd. So that's 5 points for Brainerd in the fourth period. 61-33 with 2:10 to go in the game. Samantha Pettyjohn now underneath the Staley. Staley out to Samantha Scott. Her shot up and no good. But the rebound by Alexis Bills. Her shot is up and good. So that's 4 points for Bills in the period. 63-33 with a minute 44. Another rainbow shot 3 by Brainerd is good. 66-33. Fort Morgan. Now they're going to call. Fort Morgan is going to call a timeout. I think it's going to be a 30-second timeout. This Fort Morgan timeout is brought to you by State Farm Insurance. Let the State Farm Insurance office of Greg Mullen in Brush help you find the best policy to fit your life. Home, auto, life, health. State Farm Insurance is here for you and your family. Give Greg Mullen a call today at 842-4555. Brush Grocery Cart. Stop, shop, and save with all your grocery needs and snacks for game time enjoyment. 1302 West Edison Street in Brush. Willow Coffee, Tea, and Smoothies, serving you the best coffees, lattes, and smoothies. Now open 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. to better serve you and ready to make your favorite special drink or offer a sweet treat. Stop by and see them at 921 Edison Street in Brush. So Fort Morgan with 63-36 lead. Brainerd on the left side now to Holman. She turns it over. So the ball now in Fort Morgan's hands. Aurora Baca is now in the game, along with, I believe, maybe Monica Avalos. We have a number 11, but she is not on the varsity list. Kinsey Winsheimer is also in, along with Christina Frick. And Samantha Scott is also in. Brainerd up with a shot off the right side of the backboard and no good. Rebound to Baca. And then she is fouled by Miranda Holman of Englewood. So that's only the fifth team foul on Englewood. So Fort Morgan will not be shooting yet. 40 seconds to go in the game. 63-36 Fort Morgan. And now Englewood decides they want to try and do a full court press. They haven't taken any of their starting girls out, so they're doing a press on the subs of Fort Morgan. So now Kavinsky driving all the way down to the basket. Her shot up and no good off the right side. Christina Frick with the rebound, and one ref called a foul, one called the jump. I guess it's going to be a jump ball to Fort Morgan with 20 seconds to go. 63-36 Fort Morgan. So Fort Morgan get the ball across half court. Monica can't, there she gets it off to Samantha Scott. Samantha Scott loses it, 3 seconds to go. Kavinsky with a long three-pointer, which will be no good at the buzzer. 63-36, Fort Morgan dominating performance here by the Mustangs over Englewood. We'll take a 2-minute break and be back with the scores and rebounds and turnovers for you. You're listening to Fort Morgan Mustang Girls Basketball on B106 and B106.com. Back at Fort Morgan High School, where the Fort Morgan Mustangs have defeated the Englewood Pirates 63-35 in the only time it was ever really close was at the start of the game when it was 0-0. From then on, it was Fort Morgan pretty much in control, scoring 18 points in the first period to 0 for Englewood. Englewood then scored 16 points in the second period, Fort Morgan 17. So that made it 35-16 at halftime. Then after three periods of play, it was Fort Morgan 51, Englewood 24. And then the final score was 63-36 in favor of Fort Morgan. So the leading scorers for Englewood would be Mason Brainerd with 25, and then get you some names here. Katie Kavinsky with 4, Cassandra Wallace with 3, Ostrowski, number 24, Madison Ostrowski had 2, Silfast had 1, and Holman also had 1, adding up to their 35 for Englewood. For Fort Morgan, Alice Schneider was a leading scorer with 26. And then Alexis Bills with 8. Celia Smits with 6. Samantha Pettyjohn with 9. And Danielle Gross with 6. So the rebounding by Fort Morgan, they out-rebounded Englewood 39-24. Let's see, Lawrence Daly led the Mustangs with the rebounds with 9. And then Alexis Bills was second with 7. Danielle Gross had 5. And then there were some other contributing people there also. For Englewood, their leading rebounder was Kavinsky with 6, and then Holman with 5. On the turnovers, it was 14 for Fort Morgan, which is a great improvement for them. 20 for Englewood, so not real bad as far as turnovers for the game is concerned. A lot better than what they have had. So a nice win, nice league win for the Fort Morgan Mustangs. 1-0 in league. Englewood now 0-1 in league. 4-6 overall on their overall score. So for our next broadcast will be Friday at Weld Central. The girls will be at 7 o'clock. The boys will be at 5:30, I believe. And then we also had a final score from Englewood. The Fort Morgan boys won 56-38. So the Fort Morgan boys are now 1-0 in league also. Both of these teams did play in the Northern Colorado Roundball Classic. Fort Morgan and Weld Central did play. And it came out with the Fort Morgan girls in that Weld Central game. They got beat 44-21 in that game. I believe the Fort Morgan boys won that game in a fairly low-scoring game, but they held Weld Central. That's like 21 points, I believe, in the game. So it's somebody they have seen before. So it should be. We'll see how they do in this contest in their second game of the new league. So we'll see you Friday night, or hope you join us on Friday night for the broadcast. The sound engineer and producer for tonight's game has been Alan Lance. The final score again, 63-36, Fort Morgan. For Eric Nickel, I'm Brian Nickel. You've been listening to Fort Morgan Girls Basketball on B106 and B106.com.